Here at EcksToo, we like to try and find out loadouts that can help you play better and improve in Star Wars Squadrons. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today I'm going to try and make the worst loadout I possibly can with any class and attempt to play it and try to win a game. But for those of you who are curious about how it went down while recording, here's a little preview. Oh my god, please, just let me attack the Raider, man, leave me alone.
This isn't fun.
This is not fun at all, darling, yeah. Actual waste of my time, man. Look at me, I'm weak as anything, dude. Please. Oh my god, why do I even bother? No way. He's not going to kill me at the Nebulon B. No way. Oh my god, no. Dead. I'm going to... Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, so tricky was a bit of an understatement there. But you're probably thinking, what loadout did I use? So let's get right into it. So I was a little bit tied up on what ship I should use depending on what faction. For the Empire, I went with Interceptor or Support. Now you can see the builds I had here, which were relatively bad, but Interceptors generally have good maneuverability and speed anyway, so they do have some form of base survivability. They are Interceptors at the end of the day, and whilst I was trying to pull as much hull away from them as possible, they just kept getting too much acceleration and maneuverability, so I decided to scrap it. The TIE Reaper, on the other hand, definitely interested me on how I could make probably the worst build with that class too. So I made the worst possible loadout I could with the TIE Reaper, but we didn't play a game with Empire, so we'll skip this for now. Moving over to the Rebels, I decided on either the Y-Wing or the Support. Now, I did have a lot more options with the Y-Wing or Bomber loadout in general, but anytime I tried to move away from hull and shields, it just ended up getting speed and acceleration. And the point of this video is that we're trying to make the worst loadout possible. Not just making a ship that's bad in some areas, but is actually okay in others. We want it to be the worst it possibly can be. And that is where we land on the U-Wing. Now take a look at these stats. A drop in hull, shields, speed, and acceleration, all for insane maneuverability on possibly one of the slowest ships ever. So with that little description out the way, let's go through the components. For the primary weapon, we went with the Iron Cannon. Now, the Iron Cannon is really good at shredding shields, but that's about it. So taking out other enemies is nigh on impossible. You can disable them with your Iron Cannon, but that's about it. The hull damage is super low, and you'll find out why in the gameplay later. Next up, for the left auxiliary, we went with the Tractor Beam. Tractor Beam requires you to be really up close, and with how weak this ship is, that's going to be pretty difficult. The Tractor Beam has a relatively long lock time, which means it's going to be pretty difficult to try and keep up with other ships. But when you do manage to pull it off, it's relatively okay, but it's not the best auxiliary out of the rest of them. For the right auxiliary, we go with the Turret Mine. Usually we want to drop this right before we die because you're going to be probably dying a lot in this build. I don't see a lot of people run Turret Mine because it's just not very effective. It doesn't move anywhere either, which means it's stuck in one area. For countermeasures, we're going with the Sensor Jammer. Now, Sensor Jammer is actually the best at getting rid of any incoming missiles. The only negative is that you only get one charge, and that's it. And yeah, you do die a lot with countless amount of missiles heading your way, and you've used one Sensor Jammer, and then you've got nothing else. Next up is hull. We're going with the light hull. We want all that maneuverability and no max hull at all. This makes us a lot more squishier and easier to kill. And after that, we got the Resonance Shield, which reduces our shields, but also increases our firepower to our Iron Cannon, which is already pretty useless. And to top it off, we got the Micro Thrust Engine, which increases our maneuverability, but also decreases our acceleration and max speed even further. So there you have it. We're stripping away a lot of hull, a lot of shields, a lot of speed, a little bit of acceleration, but adding a lot of useless maneuverability on a terrible ship. But just to show just how terrible the ship is, we thought we'd give it the rustic look as well. And as we connect with our teammates, I give them all a few messages of support, because little do they know I'm going to be absolutely terrible this game. But before we get into a game, guys, I just want to quickly mention our Patreon has 3 days left until we wrap up our November rewards. So if you want things like newsletters, videos that will never go live on EcksToo, playing some games of Squadrons with us, or getting your very own EcksToo avatar design done by a professional artist, be sure to sign up to our Patreon today, link in the top right or in the pinned comment below. Once we hit the 1st of November, we're wrapping it all up and you're going to have to wait till next month. But with that said and done, let's get right into a game. Okay, so first up, let's talk about what's actually useful about this build. It absolutely shreds shields. So when it comes to taking down shields on the Artisans or on the Raider, it is super effective and does it relatively fast. However, to know it's not as fast as an iron torpedo, but you have to actually make sure you hit it and get away without dying. So here you can actually see I try to run in for the Artisan, take out some of its shields, and then don't survive.
Hit it. A little bit of extra bonus info, you're going to look absolutely terrible on the scoreboard because shredding shields does not contribute to score or capital ship damage. So we've definitely got a good start here. Here I have an example of somebody firing a missile at me. The sensor jammer does an amazing job at getting rid of it. However, as I'm trying to get back to my Nebulon B, he fires another one. And because of my weak hull, I'm already pretty low already. And not even my Nebulon B can save me, so the second missile definitely hits and kills me. And what's worse is that we have another 2 people on 0-2-0 with me. So thankfully, this is a 4v5 because I definitely don't think we'd win. Next up, doing what this ship does best, and that is to just shred down the raider as fast as possible. But I don't even get to do that because TIE interceptors can definitely dish out a ton of damage on me and kill me almost instantly. Now here's actually really interesting. I actually pull off my entire combo. I lay in on this TIE bomber with tons of ion cannon to disable him. And by disabling him, I'm able to get up close and use my tractor beam. There he's unable to move and I'm able to continue on firing on him, but just know how long it absolutely takes to deal any hull damage with these cannons. Here I get another kill, but this is just pure luck because this interceptor is not looking at me whatsoever. And I actually didn't do the most damage. The Nebulon B hit him once or twice, which did quite a lot to him. But I turn around and instantly disable another TIE bomber thinking, well, actually this build could maybe work. But I totally take this back on a TIE fighter where I managed to pull off my entire combo, disable him, tractor beam him, but then he still gets away. .40 hull damage. That's it. So I give up and focus on the raider instead. But even going on the raider didn't really work out because somebody fired a missile at me. I ran out of countermeasures because I only have 1 countermeasure per resupply. And unfortunately, I die before I can get to my MC-75. Pretty rough. So looking back at the scoreboard, I've got 2 kills, 5 deaths, and 1 assist, with 190 cap damage. But what's worse is that we've got another player that's even having a rougher time at 0-8-0. Wishing you the best, Timmy, if you're watching this video. Here, I knew this could end up being a kill because a TIE bomber was coming in on the Nebulon B as we were going on to attack. Which means either the Nebulon B is going to kill him, or I'm going to be able to get in, get a few shots, and get the kill. So next up, I try and do some shield damage to the Star Destroyer, but I instantly take a ton of damage and I can't even get anywhere near close. And then I end up just dying to another TIE bomber, making it really impossible to do any form of objectives. What's even more embarrassing is that we're on the attack. I go in for a resupply on my Nebulon B and I still manage to die. On full hull, by the way. So here I'm disabling some TIE bombers. It's actually going pretty well. I'm helping my team get kills. But I actually really enjoy this clip. I'm able to disable the TIE bomber here and then also tractor beam him into place. Once he's let go of the tractor beam and he's no longer disabled, he tries to fly on top of the ship, only then to be disabled again and then tractor beamed again. Whilst I didn't get the kill, that guy must have been furious by being disabled, held in place, disabled, and held in place again. So if I had the standard laser cannon, maybe this might have been a bit more effective. I know TIE bombers are pretty hefty, but I felt like I could have done a bit of significant damage if I used my tractor beam a bit more. But this is the worst loadout episode, so it has to be iron cannons, obviously. And as a last hurrah, I tried to come in to do some form of hull damage with these iron cannons, and in good form, I died just as we were about to win. Now, bearing in mind, this was a 4v5, so we were on a big advantage here. But if it was an actual 5v5, we would have definitely not won. So here's our team looking pretty suave. And look at my character, bless her. She is so proud of what she's done today. A pure face of admiration. And a job bloody well done. And the final scores are me being last on 3-10-6 with 904 cap ship damage and 1,400 points. An absolutely terrible score. But there you have it. That is the worst loadout that I could think of playing in Star Wars Squadrons. What do you think of the loadout? Do you think you could make something even worse? Really interested in your thoughts and opinions on this one. And if I really like a loadout that's that bad, I might even make a video about it. And as you can tell, this has been a little bit differently edited compared to our usual EcksToo videos. So if you enjoy these type of videos more, let me know in the comments down below, or I can go back to scripted videos if you prefer. And finally, don't forget our Patreon does wrap up in 3 days. So if you want all of those rewards I mentioned earlier, like newsletters, extra videos, etc., etc., definitely hit that link in the pinned comment below. But other than that, I've been Charlie, you've been watching EcksToo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.